This dude played 100 hours.
In this Starfield review, we'll dive into the full release of Bethesda's most ambitious project to date and tell you if it's worth the 10-year wait.
I will say this. I used to be like I'm a graphic artist. I make 3D stuff. I make kind of like graphics are more to me than a lot of other people because I appreciate them more as like a fellow artist, I guess. So I find myself in the game a lot, stopping and appreciating even like rock textures and stuff like that, just because it's like cool that they got it to look so good and still run at least 30 frames.
With many fans disappointed by the studio's latest releases, everyone is wondering if the game will actually deliver on the quality that made Bethesda famous. It is the year 2300.
Yeah, and I purposely picked a no spoiler review too.
30 and around 20 years before the start of the game. Today, the major factions enjoy an uneasy peace, but the settled systems are still...
Also, like on a little tangent, there's one dude that wanted to go to Pluto, and like you could warp there, but you could also actually just fly there, and it took like 8 hours or something. So, I guess in the space, it's like open space.
Pretty dangerous. There are plenty of human threats out there like the ecliptic mercenaries, pirates of the Crimson Fleet, violent spacers, or even the fanatical religious zealots of the House of Varun. Bethesda has done a good job.
That robot guy, he's like, not really a spoiler, it's like your first companion guy. He's so cool the way they made him. Like you can obviously tell the art style for Starfield is what they refer to it as NASA punk. This all screams that to me, man. It's such a cool new art direction that looks like a lunar rover, man.
Of creating unique factions and fleshing out their histories and actions, providing world building that will set the proper stage for your adventures. Think more The Expanse meets No Man's Sky rather than Mass Effect. Along this journey, you will find companions and recruit crew members, giving you the opportunity to experience their backstories and hear their takes on locations, history.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that crazy city-looking thing. Not really a spoiler either. You start off as like a miner guy, and this is like I'm a miner person.
To say, I was incredibly surprised by the originality of the story itself. While not perfect or mind-blowing and featuring some unfortunate narrative clunkiness to comply with gaming mechanics or gaming moments, this is a very enjoyable ride for those seeking to experience the story and universe itself.
The style, the NASA punk style. I actually like that it's not as rusty and dingy as Fallout is. Like that part of Fallout really gets... I kind of hate it, where like everything just looks like rust.
My preferred summary for this is that there's a little bit of everything and a whole lot of little bits. How does that all combine, and does it create a congruent experience though? Let's take a look. Most people will be playing the game to engage with its role-playing mechanics and to interact with this universe in their own unique way. The game has a decent character creator with many options, but I found them a bit weird and could not really create exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, the character creator, like I almost thought it was like stylized, like Fortnite kinda. It is weird.
Perhaps because the interface itself is not intuitive and I got tired of accidentally rolling back changes I had made. You'll get the expected physical customization options alongside the opportunity to pick a background, which gives you your first 3 skills, and some traits that give you both benefits and demerits based on your choices. The variety of backgrounds and traits is nice, although I did find that I had no idea what would be good or wouldn't based on the vague descriptions.
Yeah, this part I had to kind of look up before I picked.
Once you're out in the world, your character development will come from
I know what you're saying, but like when you go back, like look at the face, right? It's almost kind of Fortnite-ish, like stylized. But then when you get into the game, it's not like that, really. So it's weird when you're making the character. So I was a little confused at first.
Once you're out in the world, your character development will come from 2 sources. One is skill points that allow you to unlock more skills and complete challenges to power them up. The other is roleplay, where you slowly
Because that guy looks super good and real and not like Fortnite, so...
develop your personality and relationship with companions to create your impact in the world. You will also be able to customize...
It's just right here, right? I don't know.
...your equipment and armor, install mods on them, and purchase and customize ships based on activities that you like doing. And you will slowly engage with each aspect and learn how it works and how to master it.
That's what I want.
It is incredibly overwhelming when you begin, as you're bombarded with information on what you could be doing, and dozens of quests and activities pile up in your mission log. Once I got into the groove of the controls that unfortunately are somewhat lacking, I was able to get into my preferred...
The controls, yeah, like you really have to figure them out. Very similar to Fallout 4.
Rhythm for exploration gaming. I gathered quests and activities at a hub, then set off for another system, and
Like when you go into scanning mode, all the buttons change what they do. Can be a little annoying at first, I guess.
I had some reservations about how it would all work out given the sheer size of the game and the mention of procedurally generated that usually means copy pasta. Thankfully, I felt like the planets and their exploration fit the universe and made logical sense, much like Mass Effect Planetary Adventures. Quest storylines are well crafted, have opportunities for persuasion, bribery, intimidation, theft, or righteousness, and weave into the world and events.
Dang, see, look, those graphics look good. That armor's sick. I like all like the hoses and stuff.
Seamlessly. Your actions affect the characters and world, your perception of the
Like all the valves and stuff look super cool.
world, and others' views on you. The gunplay and combat in Starfield is probably one of the weaker aspects of the game. Lacking the pause and dismember features of Fallout, free gunning on low-gravity systems against floaty targets, while you yourself jump around and without a cover system was not quite my favorite activity. There's a good
Oh, I guess there. Well, I mean, you could still crouch, but I guess there's no cover system. Yeah. I guess to be fair, a lot of times when I do play these games, I'm like the stealth archer type.
ship combat is in a similar vein, somewhat mediocre, with confusing controls and a lot of turning around that can be very overwhelming when you start. And eventually you'll realize that ship combat is simply okay and does not change much from one encounter to another. You can also buy a wide variety of ships that will act very differently in combat and can upgrade parts and even design your ship to look one way or another.
Alright, that's cool. I wonder how much design you got on the ship.
All this tinkering doesn't
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
enhance the overall ship experience, but the core combat remained just okay.
Like, you could make the Normandy from Mass Effect, probably.
Starfield has a pragmatically futurist design that gives the game a feel of realistic or mundane sci-fi. There's no shock and awe at the technology you're using.
Dude, but it's beautiful. Like, I love this style.
Its ancient history, and owning a ship is not dissimilar to owning a boat in the real world. Most of the spaceships you use are the clunkers of the expanse, with wire chairs, small bunk beds, and tiny messy galleys.
You can so tell that they looked at NASA and the space station and everything. Like, this is what
The cities
Outer Worlds looked like, but they really nailed it in this style.
you visit will go from feeling like the Citadel to cyberpunk to the Wild West, with factories, mining outposts, and utilitarian facilities speckled about. The design philosophy
Like, that looks like Fallout, though. Like, where are we?
carries over to the game's UI and in my opinion does leave something wanting. Graphically, the game is beautiful and the cutscenes are actually gorgeous. The in-game renders of activities and such are of course lower quality. There was minor texture pop in here and there, but it was not a persistent issue and it did not.
Man, that's a good question. Would you say Starfield has better startup than Outer Worlds? Dude. Outer Worlds, like the beginning and everything with its comedy and seriousness, I would say no. Outer Worlds intro is better.
I didn't encounter crashes or game progress bugs, which was a very big relief as many recent releases have been plagued by such issues.
But that being said, Outer Worlds does feel, smaller, not as ambitious as this game. But again, with Obsidian and the writing, it's top notch.
What I did find are numerous instances of graphical glitches or small bugs that are typical of the Fallout series. For instance, camera zooming into an NPC's head when they're talking, and the conversation is had from an unviewable angle. Or the NPC keeps walking as it talks to you or doesn't turn to see you, and a guard in the main town
Oh my god, dude, that's hilarious. What is happening?
or may get in the way of you and an objective button that you cannot reach because they are in the way. These are all minor complaints and not the kind of issue that is when a quest doesn't progress or an item crashes your game. The audio and soundtrack for the game, on the other hand, are flawless.
I think Fallout, right? You had like the radio or whatever for the ambience. And if you turn the radio off, you got like that creepy soundtrack. But this one has really good soundtracks for sure.
Each and every interaction you have is voiced and voiced well. You can even overhear entire convincing conversations as you walk by bars.
Yeah, so another cool thing is like I'm the type of person that wants to talk to every NPC, like see what's up, you know. And you don't have to go up to them and press A and look at them. Like you could just go by, you know, if you go in front of them, they'll talk to you. So that is like pretty cool.
Or hangouts. The music and tunes are a perfect
Like you can press A to talk to them, but you don't need to.
Starfield is one of the rare games where, given the many choices and opportunities for player agency, there is value to both explore extensively and reroll another character.
And that's what it is. You know, I think that's Bethesda's strong arm that not a lot of people think about, is the replayability is so high compared to some games. Like even Red Dead Redemption, yeah, it's replayable, but not as much, you know?
Exploration and outpost management, which will surely be enhanced by the community via mods, are one of those.
Oh yeah, and don't even get me started on mods. Before I even got the game, I realized people on PC are already like modding it to make it run better and stuff. And normally mods are whatever, but the mods that make it run better, those ones kind of get me.
There are some activities that simply amount to buy this person a coffee or generic repeatable missions to hunt down a pirate fleet and destroy them, or deliver cargo to another planet. However, the vast majority of
What's up, Fallout guy? What are you doing in this game?
quests are actually contextual to the world and provide depth and nuance to where you are and what is happening. The faction quests are well defined, well done, and
See, it's like this angle when you talk to people. You know, being honest, Mass Effect did the same thing and they were made fun of for the same thing. I don't know how to solve it really, but just the straight on angle, I don't think it's enough.
all in all, I spent 70 hours with my main character. That
70, dude.
was
You said
mostly
100
gunning the
though.
main story, and another 30 on a secondary character
Okay.
that was messing around with mechanics and outposts and checking out what different choices did.
So yeah, you see like her huge backpack? If she would sit down on that chair right there, it would make the backpack invisible and not like weird looking. And then it would just be way better than clipping into the chair.
So, having played about 100 hours of Starfield, and given I don't feel like I'm done yet, Starfield's asking price of $69.99 USD feels justified. Clearly a work of passion and the product of
That's Fallout. They must have a Fallout world. That's kind of exciting.
a decade of hard work. Starfield will surprise the naysayers with its good performance and relatively minimal
Yeah,
bugs.
I like the cyberpunk.
Delivering
voice,
a
too.
solid story experience with fantastic graphics in an incredibly expansive universe that is free for the taking,
9.4.
Starfield is sure to become a favorite for many gamers and joins the ranks of titles such as Mass Effect in the pantheon of sci-fi gaming. A complete delight from start to finish and an instant classic for any gamer that enjoys sci-fi and is ready for adventure.
Nice. That was a good video. Seemed pretty unbiased. The Moist Critical one, it's like, how much can you say if you don't play the whole game? But again, he does have a point with, if it's not trying to grip you right away, that's kind of a flaw.